Hi guys. In today's episode, we're talking about difficult relationships. Josh and I, when we started thinking about this, we had the inclination that we should never give up on any relationship, no matter how difficult it is. And we should always endeavour to see the best in every person. But is this always the case? And what does it mean to love someone in a difficult relationship? And these are the questions that we tackle today. We hope you enjoy the episode, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of the Soul Focus podcast.
We're here again.
I mean, can you believe it?
I don't believe, actually.
It is crazy.
It's not true.
Can't be true. Can't be true. I know, it's great to have you back, Josh.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just a little bit of a recap from last time. So we were looking at what does it mean to be humble in relationships? What does it mean to know another person? We talked a lot about, we spent actually a lot of time on what it means to know somebody and know somebody deeply. One of the things actually that we really focused on was the journeying with somebody as they transform. So you almost don't give up on them as they transform. You get to know them in as you are in situations that you've not experienced them being in, if that makes sense. So that's one thing we looked at. And then we looked at like how you communicate with each other and how do you do experiences together, and do you kind of dismiss their hobbies, or do you kind of try and get to know what they like and they dislike, stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we looked at.
Nice.
And today, the question that we're wanting to tackle is, should we ever abandon a relationship? And if the answer to that is yes, when?
Right.
At what point do you abandon a relationship? What point does it's not worth pursuing anymore? I think just as a bit of a disclaimer, I think this topic might become sensitive for some people, so just so you're aware, we might hit some sensitive topics. But hopefully there's some insight into approaching difficult relationships with humility, and what does that look like, and so we'll have a look at that. Cool. All right, so first question then, which is the question I just posed. Okay, so given our definition of humility, we've been looking at humility the last couple of episodes, which is the rejection of pride, the wanting to put other people above yourself,
right?
That sort of idea of humility, right? We've talked about the fact that it's more than just being a doormat. It's not about being a doormat. It's about the recognition that there is more to life than yourself and your understanding of the world, as it were. And so with that definition, with that understanding, and how do we grapple with difficult relationships? I'm going to throw that over to you, and you can just tell us all the things that we need to know.
I will just answer your question, demystify it, and this is going to be a very short episode.
That'd be great.
We were talking about this before. I feel like my answer to this changes based on the person.
Yeah, okay.
And also based on the day. But on a good day, I feel like we should never really be giving up on anyone. That feels like the right thing. Yeah, so the question I see here is, if humility is a rejection of pride, should we ever give up on other people? I don't think we should ever give up on other people. I'm not sure. I think there are lines, but on a generally, I don't think we should.
I think I think it's interesting because from the perspective of the way in which society operates in the West, so the way that we think about this question, I think a lot of people intellectually would say, "Oh yeah, we shouldn't give up on anybody. You know, every human is valued.
Yeah.
And every human has the potential to be their flourishing self in some capacity."
Yeah.
I think also from a spiritual and Christian perspective, you know, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, and love others as yourself. Is there's a suggestion that if we are all fallen in some capacity, then should we not then seek for everybody to be restored? That there's a potential for everybody to be restored.
Sure, yeah.
If there is the potential for us to be restored. So it certainly feels like we shouldn't ever give up on anybody.
Right.
I think in practice it's very different.
Yeah.
Really, isn't
It
it?
also, we also might have to define what it means to give up on someone. So are we saying, is giving up like giving up contact? Is it just going, it's just blocking someone?
Yeah.
Or is giving up still keeping them in your life, but just not being meaningfully invested in their life?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Those
Absolutely.
are the only two examples that come to mind when I think about giving up on someone.
Yeah. So the extreme giving up would be completely cutting them off from your life.
Yeah.
No contact.
Yeah.
The other way that might work is that you just don't speak to them as often.
Yeah. You're not intentional about the relationship with them.
Yeah.
If you see them, whatever.
Exactly.
But
you don't invest in them anymore.
no. Yeah.
So throughout this whole episode and the last episode, when we talk about relationship, when we say the word relationship, we're talking quite generically. We're talking about romantic relationships, friendships, maybe even
Maternal, paternal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Work colleagues even.
Right. Yeah.
So it's very general,
Yeah.
but it might look very different. That question might be answered very differently in different contexts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a romantic relationship, clearly this is probably where a lot of people will struggle, because it's like, well, hang on, what about an abusive relationship? What about a situation where you're being abused? Surely I need to get out. Surely and especially if you're in that, and I don't know what it feels like, so I don't want to comment too much on this.
Sure, yeah.
But my presumption is that the abused will in every way feel like there is no opportunity for the transformation of the abuser.
Yeah.
And, you know, in some ways you have that feeling because of our desire for justice. You kind of go, oh yeah, of course. Right. There shouldn't be any hope for that person. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not trying to impress either way, because I don't want to diminish anybody's whatever they've got, gone through.
Yeah.
But it's an obvious counter kind of example to the well, everybody has the potential to transform. Yeah. Or everybody is worth fighting for.
Yeah. You're right. I think everyone deserves a second chance. I think there is hope for everyone, but I don't think everyone is aware that they need hope. I don't think everyone's aware that they are abusers.
Yeah.
And even if someone tries to tell them, they're not open to correction.
Yeah.
So that's really different. I think that's where the answer changes a little bit. Not that they're worth giving up on, but they're not even willing to be helped, right? Yeah. So that then it gets really difficult, doesn't it? What do you do in that? What do you do in a scenario where the person that you're trying to help doesn't want to be helped? So that doesn't mean you're giving up on them. It just means whatever help you're trying to give them is not working.
They're almost giving up on themselves.
Right. Yeah. It's really interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I think then there is a conversation to be had on what it means for you. Like, how do you move ahead? Maybe you don't keep pushing in that scenario.
I mean, there's an interesting concept that when it comes to relationships, for it to be a real relationship, you almost have to give up control in some respect. Because in order for you to know that the other person truly wants this relationship, you need to kind of, so consciously you won't think this, but we have to do this. We have to think that the other person has the potential to hurt me. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I don't think like that, which sounds a bit counterintuitive, but I think if you don't think like that, then it is control. Because if they have to be a particular way in order for you to have a relationship with them, are you not choosing an extension of yourself, which is almost like control? It's like, here's a question.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had the choice to choose somebody in a romantic relationship or a friendship, let's say, that was your perfect partner, if you had the ability to swipe left or swipe right, to the point where that person is the person that would satisfy your every desire, would you do it? Let's say it's a new technology that allows you to do that. In fact, I think Black Mirror did an episode on this with the 99% match episode.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh, yeah. The dating app.
The dating app one.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
That's
about
fascinating. What's it called? Do you remember? I can't remember it. That's interesting. Are you saying, would I use that for a new relationship, or are you saying to tweak existing relationships?
I guess either.
Okay.
Because I don't think it really matters, because you'd still be choosing. You'd be choosing somebody who essentially responds in exactly the way that you want them to respond.
Yeah, right.
They essentially become an extension of yourself.
Interesting. Yeah. I think people are searching for that, right?
Yeah.
In the dating world, that's kind of what people are looking for, maybe. But would I use that technology? I want to say no, but I feel like I would use it.
I think naturally that would be your natural inclination, wouldn't it?
I think I would use it. Yeah.
But the problem with it is that, does that not undermine the realness of the relationship?
Absolutely, yeah. It just removes any growth, personal growth.
Yes.
Right.
But does it also it? Yes. So you're absolutely right.
There's that. Yeah.
But is it not? Is it still love? Oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Because the reason why, because you could say, let's say, we could develop an AI that was an extension of yourself that would respond in exactly the way you want it to respond.
Right.
But it's obviously a conversation. It acts in such a way that it mimics a human. Would you say that was a real relationship?
I think genuine love needs to be tested. And I think that scenario you can't really, it's not tested because it's easy, right?
Yes.
It's not gone through any difficult thing.
Yeah.
I think relationships go through a difficult phase when people are different, or people are different to you, or don't respond in the way that you want them to respond to you. So, yeah, I don't think untested love is not trustworthy.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Where did this come from?
Where's the thread?
Where's the thread?
I've no idea.
We were talking about giving up on people.
Yeah, right. So giving up on people.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about the fact that you could be in an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Now,
yeah.
I'm not comparing this to abusive relationship.
Sure.
I'm more getting at the fact that a relationship, like the desire for the relationship to be perfect. But what I'm suggesting is that if it was perfect, would you know it was love? Which is what you're saying.
Yeah,
it needs to be tested.
Right.
And one of the aspects of that is it almost requires that the other person has some opposite desire, some desire that's different to your own, such that they are able to give that desire up for you in love.
Yeah.
And that is and that then becomes a sign of love. But if they
Yeah.
are always just doing the same as you, it's like how would you know that they love you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I think it's another thing that shows that we shouldn't give up on people, because actually the development of relationships is a sign. Well, it can be, and this is what we need to explore, but it can be a sign of love. Like, okay, they did hurt you, but now they've got past that thing that caused the hurt, and now they are showing that they are overcoming that, and that's a sign of love.
Yeah.
Because they were willing to change for you, and that's a loving act.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that we desire deep down, like our true desire is that we have that real relationship. That's a real relationship because it proves out that there's something beyond themselves.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's beyond just kind of transient desires, and it's more, I want to use the word eternal. It's
Right.
a more eternal
Yeah,
desire.
yeah. It's been tested.
It's been tested.
Yeah. I feel like my answers to that first question is now becoming, no, you shouldn't give up. But if you have to, you should make sure that you have tried your best not to give up.
I think so.
Right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to put every endeavor into those relationships in love.
Yeah.
In the Amplified Bible, the definition of love, I think it says in 1 Corinthians 13, I think it says that one of the attributes of love is that you see the best in the other person. I think that might ring a bell, but that's always stuck with me.
Assumes good or something
like that.
Should we try and find it?
Yeah, it'd be good to find it. And I'll speak to it a little bit while you're looking. And I think this talks to what we were just speaking about earlier, that we would put every endeavor for that relationship to work. And that comes from a motive of, or a recognition of seeing beyond the surface of that person, that there is good within them, that seeing the best within that person, the potential within that person.
Yeah.
Which I believe is the way that God sees us. He sees the potential within us, not just the transient sort of maybe mask that a lot of us wear, I think.
Yeah. Did you want me to read that
That'd
section?
be great.
So it says, love endures with patience and serenity. Love is kind and thoughtful and is not jealous or envious. Love does not brag and is not proud or arrogant. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not provoked, nor overly sensitive and easily angered. It does not take into account a wrong endured. It does not rejoice at injustice, but rejoices with the truth when right and truth prevail. Love bears all things regardless of what comes, believes all things looking for the best in each one, hopes all things remaining steadfast during difficult times, endures all things without weakening.
Yeah, there you go.
It's powerful, isn't it?
It is pretty powerful.
It's a very high bar.
Yeah. Tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the endeavour to not give up, the endeavour not to give up on relationships. So we talked about that.
Yeah.
So when then is the right time to give up on a relationship? And again, to your point at the beginning, giving up might look very differently depending on the context.
Sure.
It might be that you completely cut off that person. You
Yeah,
might,
yeah.
you know, what does that look like? How do you deal with that situation? Maybe there's any examples, or I don't know, but
Yeah. So the example that comes to mind, this was kind of forced on me, I mean, in a way, but so a lot of my closer friends will know that I'm not in touch with my mum anymore. So growing up, my mum was quite abusive. She was quite physically, verbally, not just towards me, but towards my dad as well. So we haven't actually, I don't think I've really spoken to you about it, actually. I've mentioned
bits and pieces, yeah.
but not in detail. And so when we came to Blackpool, when we moved to Blackpool from Bahrain, at some point, I remember telling my dad, if this carries on, I'm going to run away. And up until this point, I think my dad was just really trying to make it work.
Yeah.
He's been doing what we've been talking about. He's just really tried to stick this out, and is trying not to give up on this marriage. But I think the line for him was when it started affecting his children.
Yeah.
And so and even then he tried his best to protect us and keep the marriage up, right? So shout out to my dad if you're listening. But yeah, so it came up to a point, social workers got involved then. My dad reached out to the social workers. Yeah. They split us up for a bit. So it was just me, my dad and my sister, and my mum was separate for a few weeks. We tried to come back again, and then the abuse just carried on after a while. So long story short, she just left, right? So she didn't try to make it work.
Yeah.
I think I would have tried as a child.
Yeah.
But I do remember feeling relief when she left.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Fast forward 10 years after that, I tried to make contact with her again because I've never tried. I thought I'd forgiven her. Felt like I had. Wanted to forgive her. Wanted to rectify it. Tried to talk to her. Realised I hadn't forgiven her. A lot of this stuff came back up. Yeah. So I did try to make amends again, but she just didn't want to.
Yeah.
So that was my situation. That's the example that comes to mind straight away, is she didn't have a desire to. And maybe she did deep down, but she just didn't want to face it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was really bad, actually.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, do you feel, looking back, that your dad should have got the social workers involved earlier? Nothing on
maybe
him. I'm sure that you wouldn't feel, well, I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny, like, I still loved her.
Yeah.
I think I still do.
Yeah.
I still have some great memories with her. it's clouded by a lot of negative kind of stories, but and memories. But I think what people don't realize, if you've not experienced abusive relationships, it's not all bad, which is what makes it difficult.
Yeah.
Because there are good periods, and there is love. I didn't want her to leave.
No.
I was relieved when she did.
Yeah.
Because the abuse stopped, but actually, I was really upset that she left. I realized afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe Dad should have. But I think it's we just loved each other.
Yeah.
Right. So I think he didn't want to see the family break down.
Yeah.
Which is totally fair. And I think some people might be able to relate to that, and you might see it in if you've tried to deal with abusive kind of stuff before. I think you'll see it that when you're just waiting. Let's take an example of an abusive husband and a wife who's struggling. Some people might think, why has she not left him yet?
Yeah.
It's because she loves him.
Yeah.
Right? And he loves her as well. It's a bit strange that he's abusing her, but there is love involved. And I know of examples where we have tried to tell a wife, look, just go to the police. And she's like, no, I'm never going to do it. Yeah. And if you call the police, I'll lie to them and say nothing has happened, right? Because there's so much love involved.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a depth of affection, and even in that situation, it's difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that strikes me, or has struck me through this conversation, is that to leave a relationship or to stay in a relationship, regardless, there are contexts and scenarios where either one is hard. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Whether you're leaving or you're staying, there will be reasons why they're difficult. Per what you were saying, you didn't want her to leave, but you felt relieved.
Yes. Yeah.
So clearly, either scenario was difficult.
Yeah. It's pros and cons in both.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so there's almost a level of humility. There's almost a level of humility on either side. Let's say if she stayed, there's a level of humility in taking the abuse.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
You know, and we see that sort of endurance throughout history of people going through suffering in the hope of people changing, or etc. But equally, to leave because you recognize your own, well, they're clearly not changing, and there isn't hope, and actually it is better that you would become the person you're supposed to become.
Yeah.
The abuse is actually making your ability to love that person worse. Because if that is happening, then there is no point staying in the relationship.
Yeah.
If your ability to love is being squashed by that relationship, would it not be better that you come out of it such that you can you're able to like regain strength almost, if you see what I mean? But that takes humility as well.
Yeah. Because
you love that person. That's what you're saying. You're saying that because of your love for them, to abandon that person, to almost say that you're almost giving up hope on that person is really hard.
Yeah.
Man.
It's very tough, yeah.
I think what we're sort of alluding to is that really there are reasons to leave. There are reasons to stay. And really the humility you can have humility in either. But humility comes from the overcoming of your own desire either way, right? There's also, so I obviously alluded to the fact that, you know, your ability to love
Yeah.
could be degraded by a relationship, and therefore
Sure.
it makes more sense. I mean, the other example of that is if you are always giving to the other person, so you're always tired, you're always feeling beaten up, you're always feeling like you're not getting anything back, blah, blah, you know, all these things. And therefore, again, you are at the point where you can't give anymore anyway. So at that point is that if you can't give anymore,
Yeah.
then is there any point staying? You know, there's that element of it as well. So a bit, all of this, you know, is a callback to, you know, what you said, which is make every endeavor.
Yes.
But there comes a limit where we need to say, no, enough is enough.
Yeah, yeah.
So the other side of it then is that you stay in a relationship because of the transformation of the other person. If it's detriment to you, then probably worth leaving. But the other side of it is that you could also recognize, and this maybe is a little bit more subtle, you could also recognize that you staying in that relationship is detriment to the other person's transformation, which might be actually that it's your reactions to them is making it worse.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? So they are struggling with your reactions to them, and therefore it might be better, you know, is their transformation of being better that you would be apart from them.
Yeah.
So that is another element of love, because you'd have the humility to say, I am not good for you, and I need to go away and change before we kind of redevelop our relationship.
Yeah.
I think that's more subtle. I can't quite think of an example of that one, but I could see that being an element of when a relationship might be worth.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you recognize the way you act in that situation. And there's different levels of how that works. It probably doesn't really work in a romantic relationship. It probably works better in a friendship or maybe even a work colleague situation.
You have an example of this, though, don't you? Like a very extreme example.
I have an extreme example. Oh, yes, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, so it could... I mean, this example doesn't quite fit, but it's a good one to look at because it just kind of hits home the point of love, what love looks like. So let's say you've got a friend, really good friend.
I've got a friend?
You've got a friend. Imagine,
Whoa.
Could you imagine if you had a friend?
What's one of those?
Just imagine it, Josh.
Great.
I know it's really hard for you, but...
Got it. I think I got it. Whoa, it feels so good to have a friend. What is this friend doing?
So this friend is, you know, you've been good friends with them for a while.
Yeah, nice.
And it's good, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe you've thought that they're a bit out there sometimes.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
but it's okay.
I'm also a bit out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Two weirdos.
Great.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Yes.
So this friend decides to he decides to ask you to kill somebody.
Oh, whoa. That took a turn.
Okay.
He's a good friend so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Until then.
Until now. So he asks you to kill somebody. Now, there's an interesting aspect to this because you would say no.
Yeah.
Right?
You'd hope so.
I think most people would be like...
most people would be like, no, not doing that.
I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Okay. Or even help murder this person.
Right.
You wouldn't even do that.
No, not going to do that.
But I think for most of us, the reason we wouldn't do that is because of our anxiety of what the consequences are for us. I mean, there's a moral and conscious state within our being that will just be like, well, no, because it's just going to affect
Yeah.
it's going to affect us so badly if we did that, right?
Yeah.
Now, my suggestion is that motive may be seen as selfish. Which is a ridiculous statement to make, I appreciate.
But let's go on this train.
But let's go on this. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, because it's a weird one. Because to suggest that I wouldn't murder this person in this context is most likely because I'm thinking about myself. Because if I do this, I'm going to get in trouble. Prison.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
It's selfish in that way.
It's selfish in that way.
Yeah.
Now, not everybody will have that thought, but
Sure.
that's the sort of thing that might come to people's mind.
It also feels a bit icky to kill someone, doesn't it?
That's exactly. That whole thing is like, and then you probably go, you disgusting person, and you have all these judgments and blah blah blah. Right? Okay.
Sure.
So it feels like a bit of a selfish thing, but then you might ask, well, okay, I kind of get what you're saying, Stephen. I kind of don't, but I kind of do. Some people might kind of get what I'm saying, but you're not going to kill the person. You're not going to do that.
No,
that's a ridiculous notion.
Yeah.
Surely. Okay. Well, actually, I think there is a way that you do this humbly.
Okay.
So instead,
that you kill them humbly. Sorry, to do this humbly.
So there's a way to do this.
To deal with this relationship humbly, you're saying.
To deal with the relationship humbly.
Yeah, sure.
So my suggestion is that actually what you see in this situation is that most likely this person, your friend, is really angry with this other person.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you recognize is that you killing that other person is not going to help the transformation of their being. And therefore it is not loving.
Yeah.
It's not loving for them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to stay in their anger. They're going to stay in their guilt. It's going to destroy them. It's going to eat them up. They're going to go to jail. Okay, maybe that would jolt them into jolt them into realizing what they've done and how they've let their anger go beyond that relationship,
right?
And it's become hatred, and you recognize that, and so you say to yourself, "Well, actually, the reason I don't want to kill this person is because I care about your soul. I care about your being, and I care that you become a better self. And actually, I'm not killing them because I love you." And the humility there is in the fact that you want them to become their better self. In that sense, you love them as yourself. So, as I say, it's not an example. Going back to what we were saying earlier, it's not an example of you leaving the relationship, but it's an example of transformation of being, of staying in a relationship, or even you might not necessarily stay in that relationship because they might need more help for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But your heart is that they would be transformed. So you would endeavor that they would be transformed, and it might be that you do have to go to the police,
sure.
whatever it is. But the point is that you don't do it. But the don't doing it is from a motive of love, rather than of trying to save yourself.
Yeah.
They both probably are the same action, the same outward action.
Yeah.
They won't be any different.
Right.
Well, there might be some differences, but the kind of
the
general
base action.
Yeah. But the motive is subtly different, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. And you're saying that if you're able to help them transform in that situation, great.
Yeah.
But if you're unable to, you give up.
You give up.
Yeah.
Which might be, well, now I'm going to do it to myself. And you kind of go, well, right, I've got to...
You're not helping them become a better person.
You can't. There is nothing you can do in that situation, which alludes to what we were saying before. And therefore, you need to call the police.
Yeah. So the humble thing is to try help them transform, and then call the police. Sorry.
I'm not
joking. These are jokes.
These are jokes.
These are jokes.
These are jokes. But in all seriousness, you can see where when you see somebody acting in a way that is not moral, not kind, there is a humble way to, or if they ask you to do something, if they're asking you to do something for them,
Yeah.
and you can not do that thing
Right.
in a humble way,
Sure.
right?
A more realistic example comes to mind, actually.
Go on.
This is about Manny and I. We never tried to kill anyone, right? So this is not that.
Oh, I thought
Right.
that's what it was.
But when Manny and I were working in Birmingham together in church, we had a great time. Like, we're very good friends. But I think one of the things we didn't help each other with was food.
Right.
We both just loved unhealthy food.
Yeah.
And so whenever we had a late night somewhere, or we would always go and grab a pizza, or we had a favorite pizza, which was the F1 burner.
Oh, right. Yeah.
At F1 Pizza at Smethwick. If
Yeah.
anyone's at Smethwick, you should go and try it. But we just weren't helping each other.
Yeah.
So that wasn't helpful. But what that transformed into was whenever I went to the gym, or whenever he went to the gym, it would then motivate the other person to go.
Yeah.
So when I moved to York, I remember we were gymming together.
Yeah.
Because he would call up and be like, "Oh, mate, I went to the gym this morning." And so I would get motivated and be like, "Okay, I'm also going to go." And so those are one nice example, one bad example,
Yeah.
where we're helping each other transform in one of them, and we're not helping each other transform in the other one.
Yeah. So in that situation, you obviously both were influencing each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever had a situation where you have been asked to do something by a good friend and you just don't want to do it, and you're like, oh, like it's something like maybe something that is more peer pressure than necessarily just I don't like doing this thing, but actually I don't feel comfortable because I don't think it's moral, I don't think it fits with my values, whatever.
I skipped a class once.
Okay.
In high school.
Yeah.
This was my first day in school.
First day?
First day in this high school.
Serious? Right.
I can't believe this happened. This kid's job was to be my helper for the week, right? Just to kind of show me around and be the go-to friend.
Yeah.
And so a teacher put him in charge of get me talking to people and just acquainted with the school and the structure and the culture and whatever. And he just decided to skip a class once.
Wow.
And he was like, "Yeah, let's go." And I was like, I don't really want to do this. I've never skipped class before, but I don't know what to do. So I just went ahead with it.
Yeah.
And just skipped a class.
Yeah.
It's not good. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
We didn't remain friends after that.
Well, see, that's the interesting aspect of it, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's the only example. What about you? Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, I'm sure I have lots of examples. I remember when I was quite young, I don't know what age I would have been. I feel like I maybe was 9 or 10. But I had a girlfriend, and my parents were. I talked about this on one of the earlier podcasts. My parents were a little bit strict on what movies I would watch.
Yeah.
I remember going round to watch a film. I think it was iRobot, actually.
Oh,
which
nice.
is a great film, actually.
It's a brilliant movie.
And again, it's the same thing that I talked about before, but I didn't want to watch the film because I felt like I was disrespecting my parents.
Right.
So they wanted me to watch it. But the thing is that because I didn't feel comfortable about it, I then decided to pretend that I didn't want to watch the film because I also didn't feel comfortable about telling them that I didn't feel comfortable about watching the film.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a double whammy. But actually, it was all okay. I think I actually rang rang my parents. Actually
Can
rang
I
my
watch
parents,
this movie?
and they said yes, it was fine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was, it was
Good.
ridiculous. It's one of those things that I was a bit of a stickler for the rules.
It's good that they said yes. That's
Oh
nice.
yeah, no, that was great. Yeah, but yeah, no, I remember that, and I'm sure there are other examples at school where I do think at uni there were a few times where I going drinking, and I would have drank a little bit too much, a bit more than I would have felt comfortable with,
Right.
and certainly felt the peer pressure from that perspective. And then, again, it's like you kind of have this thing where it's like part of me, might have felt, I'm blaming the relationship. But actually, you need to take responsibility for that.
Right.
In some way, I think, in some ways, if you feel that way and that's the way you think it is, because obviously there's some people that just didn't feel like that was a problem. But if you do feel like that's a problem, then you've got to take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
And the relationship is that you would still be yourself in that relationship, such that it's real.
Right.
Again, it's revealing that, taking off that mask, which I found quite hard at times.
Yeah.
I wanted to be different people for different people.
Yes.
So
It's people pleasing, isn't it?
It's people. Yeah, I was a massive people pleaser.
Me too.
Still am.
Me too.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Really trying to work on it.
Yeah.
But it's not real. It's not real. It's not the real you.
No.
And you can't build a relationship on the fake you. It just doesn't work. I've tried it and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think taking responsibility for those times where you've done things where you didn't feel comfortable, you didn't tell that person, or you didn't, I think is worth.
You being real to the person you are becomes crucial for other people's transformation. Right?
It does. It does. And it also is humble.
Yeah.
Because it's the pride.
Yeah.
The pride that's you don't want to give up that perfectionist mask. That mask that makes you look good or whatever it is.
Right.
So I think it's very humble to actually let down your guard and say,
100%.
I don't actually feel comfortable with this. Or the opposite, which is actually I really struggle with this. Like, actually, I really enjoy drinking,
right?
But I feel like it's eating me up. But the face that I'm putting on is that I'm great and I feel really good about this. But actually, you don't. So that it works both ways.
Yeah, sure. So those your main two kind of points to considering whether you cut off a relationship. So the first one we talked about was, so if it's to the detriment of your ability to love the other, then don't stay in that relationship.
Yeah.
So if you're struggling, if you're not able to love them well. And then this one was if you're hindering that person's transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and again,
that's really interesting.
Not being in the relationship, I think, is probably too strong.
Right. You're stepping back a little bit.
Stepping back.
Yeah, sure.
Or it looks different.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. It's a hard one, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah.
With difficult people.
Yeah. Because I think, the first episode, we touched on it a bit, me and you, in the first episode, but certainly in the second episode, we were really pushing that we would endure relationship, like being open to other people's different ideas, and and don't be put off by people having different likes and having different cultures and all sorts, which is right. We've got to overcome that sort of thing that says, I don't feel comfortable with this person because they're of a different culture, or they're from a different family, or from a different city even. But this is like, well, you can also take that too far. You can stay in a relationship
Mm.
which you shouldn't stay in,
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
And as you said before, you will stay in a relationship because you love that person.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But actually, sometimes the greater love is to leave.
Yeah, I think you're
There's
right.
humility in leaving a relationship.
Mm. After having tried
Yeah.
your level best,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. In love.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
all part of love, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think we've already said this, but it's making sure that you have tried. I think, do we live in a culture that easily gives up on people? I don't know if that... Am I assuming that? Because...
I mean, it might be. We've definitely not looked into it in detail.
Right, yeah.
But I would say it feels like that to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or it feels like if something's not working in a marriage, you just kind of get divorced, right? I think it's worth saying again, we really should try as much as we can.
So there's a really good example, I think, in the Bible of this.
Yeah.
And I think it's the relationship between David and Saul.
Yeah, it's a very good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's unpack just one